Shame. 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 Shame on you.
Okay, crazy nun lady. I will repent my sins for not reading this month, okay?
Girl, shame on you.
Okay.
Okay, but as a side note, I would just like to say that that's a really good book, so thanks for shoving it in my face. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Shame.
Shame on me. Hey everybody, I am very disappointed in myself this month because I just have not read like anything. Okay, that is a lie. I did read a book. Yes, a single book this month, but that's really bad if you guys know me and know my reading habits. I usually read like 4 books a month, if not more. 1 book in a month is like, who inhabited your body, Sasha, and who is controlling you? That's how I think that I was taken over by an alien creature and it's controlling my body. But all jokes aside, I am very disappointed in myself because I have not been reading this month. Not because I do not want to read, nothing like that. Mainly because I've been traveling a lot, and you guys know that. I mentioned in my last wrap-up and TBR video that I would be traveling a lot during July, so I wouldn't have that much reading time. So I did lessen my reading goal for that month to like 3 books. No, 2 books. One of them would have been an audiobook, and the other one would have been a physical book. I didn't read either one of those, by the way. Yeah. And talking about lessening goals, I had to lessen my Goodreads goal to 75 books instead of 100 because I don't know if I'll be able to reach 100 books when I'm going at this very slow pace now, but I'm hoping that my pace will pick up once again once I get back into the swing of things, and hopefully I will be able to raise that goal to 100 books because I want to get 100 books read this year. I'm so determined. But yeah, moral of the story is traveling can really restrict your reading, and also on top of that, I got a reading slump. Yay, great. So happy about that. So it's just so wonderful. Wow, reading slumps, aren't they the best? So guys, I'm gonna be hopefully getting back into the swing of things this month because I do not have anything planned for traveling. Yes, at the end of the month I do, but that's like at the very end of the month. So I think I can get back into the swing of things. Except also, another big thing that's happening this month is that Lindsay and I are going to be finishing Zenith, like the whole entire book, finishing it. Because we have been writing this book for almost a year now. It's gonna be a year in November. And so that's like insane. So we are so excited to be finishing it. I was currently working on it before I started filming this video. And then Lindsay's like, hey, let's Skype at 2. And I'm like, oh, I have time to film a video, so I'm filming it for you guys. Also, I apologize for my lack of videos this past month. Once again, traveling. Also, I totally forgot, guys, I have an office now. This was my room, my reading room from last year, but the reading room's on the other side. This is like the other half of the room that I actually cleared out. Actually, I didn't clear it out. Literally, I just put all the other things that were in the side on the other side. Where can I ignore that? So yes, now I have an area that I can read and write in, but most importantly, do my work in, like editing videos and writing Zenith and writing other projects that I'm working on. So I'm really happy to have this space so I don't think of my room as my workspace as well, because it's good to kind of separate the two if you can. Okay, so the one and only book I read this month was this beautiful novel called The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. As you guys know, Jennifer is one of my favorite authors out there. She is such a phenomenal writer, and she gets out so many books each year, which is really great, and I love that about her. Although this was not my favorite book written by her, because it was still great, guys, don't get me wrong. I just love her books so much, so I feel very passionately towards the ones that I adore, aka White Hot Kiss and Obsidian, but it was still an amazing, phenomenal novel. And let me tell you a little bit about it. So this book is about a girl named Mallory, and she's entering her senior year of high school. But the thing is, she has never been in public high school before. She's been homeschooled ever since she was taken out of foster care and put into a home that adopted her. And it's a great home because she has great, loving parents now, especially since the hell she went through at her foster home, which really traumatized her and actually made her mute for a while. And she still has trouble speaking in this book. I think that was really great that Jennifer brought attention to that issue, and I really enjoyed reading about it. But at her foster home that she was in for pretty much her whole entire life until she was adopted was really, really bad. And since it traumatized her, she was totally just traumatized. You know the thing, you know the deal. But the one person that actually protected her in that home was her foster brother, Ryder. And once they were separated, she just thought that he got lost in the system and she would never be able to find him again. So she kind of gave up hope until she goes to her first day of public high school and she sees him there, and they rekindle this friendship that they had and then grow something more. And it's truly a beautiful novel about kind of seeing where life could take you, but also confronting your troubles of your past and knowing that you need to confront them head on because they're not just going to go away if you ignore them. And it's a really great novel, and I really enjoyed it. Jennifer has a way with words. Stars. Wow, that was the shortest wrap-up I've ever done. Okay, so now on to my TBR. Okay, so the first book I plan on reading this month, and I actually am currently reading, is Antidark by Kirsten White. I've heard so much much about this book, like everywhere, and this book cover is gorgeous. I actually thought it was a fantasy novel for the longest time. It turns out it's a gender-swapped historical fiction novel, and it's really cool. So this book is technically based off of Vlad the Impaler, but it's the gender-swapped version of it. So the main character is not Vlad, but Lada, and she is the princess of Waukegan. And I'm probably pronouncing these names wrong because they're really difficult to pronounce, okay? Like, really difficult. And it takes place in the 1400s, so it's like way long ago in Transylvania, which I think is really cool. So this book is about Lada and her brother Radu. And Radu he's totally different from Lada. Lada's very brutal and very vicious, while Radu, he's kind of like more like quiet and more restrained and very shy. But then one day they are wrenched from their homelands and forced to be raised in the Ottoman courts. And if you guys know about any of the stories about this type of world and what the history is about it, you know, they don't like the Ottomans. They don't like them at all, especially Lada. She hates them. So while she's being raised in these courts, she bids her time for vengeance because she wants to go back to her homeland and claim her birthright. And then there's the poor little Radu, and he just wants to, you know, go back to somewhere that he feels safe, because he does not feel safe where he is currently. I mean, I wouldn't either. And then one day they meet Mehmed, and he is the lonely and defiant son of a sultan, and he becomes friends with Radu, and then Lada thinks that she's found somebody that she could truly see herself being with. But he is the heir to an empire that Lada has sworn to fight against, so there's some issues there. So they kind of form this toxic triangle of friendship, and there's some love, and just trying to figure out how to get them back home, but also with a complex dealings with how they're gonna trust somebody who is a part of this empire that they hate. So I'm really excited to be reading this book. It's so phenomenal so far. It's supposed to be very like graphic and gruesome, but also very intriguing. So I'm so pumped about it. Lindsay, my co-author, she read it and she loved it. So excited. If you're wondering what video I'm watching, I was totally watching Christine's video of her book talk with Kirsten White because I did not know how to describe that book. It was really difficult. Thanks, Christine, you come in clutch. And next, I'm gonna be definitely reading this book this month. I hope I'm definitely reading it, but Lindsay's reading it currently. I get like most of my recommendations from Lindsay, guys. She's a great recommender. You should follow her on YouTube. She has a booktube channel now. I'll be linking it down below. But she is currently reading this and she says it's phenomenal, and I mentioned that I wanted to read it last month, so I'm gonna continue wanting to read it this month, and hopefully we'll be reading it this month. And that is The Final Empire, MISTBORN Book 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I've been meaning to read a Brandon Sanderson novel forever. So there are these people in the books called the Sky, and they have lived for thousands of years under a lord ruler who just causes them pain and misery. But somehow, even in the most darkest of times in this empire that they live in, they still have hope. So they start planning an uprising. And it all depends on this criminal mastermind and a street urchin. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how that dynamic is gonna play out. And they must learn the power of allomancy, how to control MISTBORN. And I know that the heroine in this novel is supposed to be such a kick-ass, powerful one, and I'm so excited to be reading it because she seems awesome. And just the whole dynamic of this book series seems very complex, but also very intriguing. So I'm so excited to be reading it. I hope that this summary is better than last time's summary because I did not know really what this book was about. I just wanted to get it because everybody was recommending it, and then when I tried to summarize it, I failed epically. But I think that was a pretty decent one, I hope. And then this last book I'll be reading this month is by my lovely friend Rashani, and she wrote The Star Touched Queen, and this book cover is beautiful. I read the first page of this book and it was so just beautifully written and so just like, every word was coded in brilliance pretty much. So this book is about a girl named Maya, and she is cursed. She is promised to have a marriage that leads to death and destruction, so that leads to scorn and fear in her father's kingdom. So, you know, everything's just going fine for her. And, you know, she's been pretty chill with this. She's like, you know what, I'll just be a scholar, I'm gonna stay away from the marriage thing, and I'll be fine. But then her dad is like, hey, I need you to get married because I need you to help me with a political alliance. Yeah, dude. Your daughter is cursed. You can't just do that. But of course he does that. He's conflict. It's great in novels. So soon after, she becomes queen of Waukegan and the wife of Amar. But this empire she is now queen over is very intriguing to her because it's hidden behind a lot of locked doors and intriguing secrets. And she's also noticed that she is actually falling for her husband, which is like funny because it's like, oh, she's falling for a husband? Whoa. But yeah, sometimes people don't fall for their husbands because they're forced into marriage like she was. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Good for her. But then soon she finds out that the fate of the human and other otherworldly realms is at stake, and so she has to trust her husband with these secrets that she's uncovered while in his kingdom, and they have to work together to try to figure out how to save the realms and get everything back in order. There's mysticalness in this book, there's love in this book. I am so excited. I've heard great things, and Sarah blurbed it. I was spellbound from the first line, a dazzling, sensuous feast of world building, romance, and mythology. I'm so freaking excited about this book, guys, like no joke. Hey guys, it's sometime later, and I'm a dinosaur. So, I forgot to mention what the Utopia Book Club Book of the Month is because I do not have a physical copy with me as of right now. I think it's coming in the mail either today or tomorrow, so that's why I forgot I did not have it, because I did not have it physically with me yet. But I did not forget that I'm reading it next month because I'm so excited about it. It's called Baby Doll, and it's by an author called Holly Overton. And no joke, guys, I watched so many documentaries on the basis of women being held captive because that just happens way too often, but I watched a lot of documentaries on it, like Elizabeth Smart and these 3 women who were held captive for like, I forget how many years, but it was like 8 years or something, maybe even more. And then there's this other woman who's held captive by her own father for 23 years. What? But it was like insane. So I was really excited, like in a weird way, but excited to read a book about this kind of subject matter because I've watched lots of documentaries on them, but never read a book about the subject matter. So I'm so excited to delve into it and really nervous because it just creeps me out too. So this book is about Lily and Sky, and Lily, she is the mother of Sky, and she's been held captive since she was a teenager, and now she's an adult with Sky as her child. Sky has always lived in this little basement prison where they've been kept by their captor until one day he leaves the basement unlocked. And then it's all about what happens next and all the craziness that follows them getting out. And it's so cool of a concept, like cool as in like creepy cool. Like I want to read this because I want to see what's happening next. Like what's gonna happen to their captor? What's gonna happen to them being finally brought back into the world? Whew, I'm excited to know. If you want to join our book club, we have a live show at the end of each month, and then we have a Goodreads page, which is also linked down below, so definitely go check it out. Okay, dinosaur out. So yes, that was my wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All the books I mentioned in today's video will be linked down below, so go check them out. Let me know what books you've read this past month to put me to shame on how little I actually read. Yeah. So that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!